Microchimerism is where a man's cells have the ability to genetically modify certain elements of the woman. That's why you might find, for example, when a couple has been together for a very long time, they say, you guys look alike.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's because of that genetic modification that takes place. That's why, for example, when you look at a black person...
through the sexual process.
Of course. When you look at a black person has a very strong gene. That's why when a white man, for example, goes into intercourse with a black woman, the child comes out black. From my experience of the 19 years of counseling I've been doing, the people who cheat the most are women.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that when you are looking at it, if you watch one video on social media where they're always speaking about men cheating, it amplifies the thought that men actually are the most cheaters. But however, when you look at the paternity test world, where over 75% of the tests they do comes back showing that actually people are not raising children that are their own. When a woman sleeps with multiple men,
the body count.
Yeah, the body count. Her vagina keeps memory of those particular men. So in the microchimerism study, they discovered that if they take the vagina of women, they can actually study and find out how many men she has slept with.
Oh my goodness.
And we're back again, Roundtable with the gentlemen. And today is not just about you guys. We are joined by an amazing special guest. We should just make it home for you here.
Yeah, no, definitely. Eh?
Oh, amazing stuff, guys. Welcome to Redemption Roundtable Edition. And we're going to be talking about another sensitive subject, the world of cheating.
Yeah, no, that's a topic on its own.
The fact that it's called a world, we've reached that level in society where we think of it as a whole entire world.
It's a multiverse.
It's a multiverse now.
It's a multiverse with different dimensions.
Actually, when you say multiverse, I'm thinking of Western Cape, Cape Town, Durban, Pretoria combined. It's a world of its own. Because that world, for example, it's so deadly that if you don't understand its source, how it becomes and how it ends, you're going to end up in a very, very detrimental state. Eh?
Before we get into it, let me ask you guys, who do you think cheat the most? Xhosas, Zulus, Tswanas, Pedis?
You really want us to be found.
I think you're asking the panel. Who cheats the most on the panel?
Go for it.
From my experience of the 19 years of counseling I've been doing, the people who cheat the most are women. It's just that when you are looking at it, if you watch one video on social media where they're always speaking about men cheating, it amplifies the thought that men actually are the most cheaters. But however, when you look at the paternity test world, where over 75% of the tests they do comes back showing that actually people are not raising children that are their own.
And those are people who can afford to do it.
But can you afford to do it if you don't know? Sometimes you don't know.
Yeah.
Well, you're right in some perspective. The thing that I'm trying to also bring here is that women have been hidden for a very long time. And today, the world is an expose platform.
It's
so just as much as men have their faults, women are also having their faults. Like they used to say men used to drink a lot. Like alcohol. Then they took out a report on Sunday Times that was literally stating that they are finding women equal in drinking and driving like men.
Wow. Yeah, no, I think times have changed.
They've really changed. Yeah. They've really changed because considering, when you say the world is now showing another side. And again, we're not attacking a gender here. We're saying this is what the world looks like. If you look at the state of cheating from a woman's perspective, it's so what can I call it? It's intelligently done,
of course,
and it's quietly done,
expertly.
Maybe what we need to find out, Rick. Maybe tell us what causes one to cheat, be it a man or a woman. What triggers that cheating part?
Apart from the fact that there's different types of cheating, obviously to help you understand the source of where it came from. The one thing you really need to pick up, besides what women do and what men do, the often greater source of cheating is when men and women have reached a certain level of displeasure in a relationship, and they don't know how to communicate that across.
What did I tell you?
You said it, man.
Yeah, and they end up going out, and then they try to hide it, and then they try to do all these types of things instead of vocalizing it to say, look, I've got certain displeasures. It's either we get help, or it's either I leave this particular relationship.
Yeah.
So that's one side of it. And then the other side of it is just that, you know what, I just want to have some fun out there. I just want to go out and play around. I don't feel this one is fit enough to cater for all my needs. Well,
Open relationship.
yeah,
mentality.
more open relationship. And these things, they're very different from people's beliefs, you know. When you look at Muslims, Christocentric people, Baha'i faith, Hindi, you know, they all come from different spectrums.
And when you speak of Muslims, you just can't, I can't even see them cheating, you know. I know they probably do, but you know, when you speak,
everyone.
I know that, but you know, like it's
It's just that image.
it's just that
That
image, you know,
purity.
of purity, and you know, like they cover themselves. I'm just thinking like
But
a Muslim.
it's what
you know,
it's what Rick was saying. What's been shown to us as of late, you know, like it's always been happening.
Yeah.
But look at the Indian research. Every 6 minutes, a woman is being raped in India. But yet they cover themselves. You know, they put all these, you know, interesting outfits on that literally cover the whole, you know, their religious beliefs. However, they still beating South Africa when it comes to rape.
Yes.
You know, and here, I mean, people walk around as and what they wish.
naked.
That time of the year, we've been
And you know what? There's these tights lately, guys. I don't know where they came from.
Yeah.
Those tights,
triggering you?
those tights need Mkwananzi to bend them.
Those gym
ones, those are ridiculous.
That has the twape.
Yes. When I go,
That
when I go to this, obviously I go to the gym myself, but you can see that there's something wrong with this.
Something is not right there.
Yeah. Yes.
That's where the cheating starts, in the gym.
In the gym.
Because you see each other, you lust over each other. The next thing, you are in the shower.
The gym shower.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you can't make it. But I remember one guy who impregnated three ladies, if I remember correctly, from the gym.
Was he a gym instructor?
He was a gym instructor.
Full blown.
And that's another area of cheating. I'm a gym instructors are dangerous.
It's just my personal
No, but he's positioning her.
Yeah.
He's stretching.
stretching.
Chance, you sound like you got stories for days on this one.
Imagine who taught you how to do that?
Yeah.
Fiso taught me.
But nonetheless,
Yeah. No, you can go on.
All right. So, nonetheless, you know, it still doesn't make it something that's right. You know, because when you look at the implications of it, well, what's the impact of cheating? Not just emotionally, but even in a family structure, kids and, you know, everyone around you, reputationally. Your dad was kicked out the house because mom found this out and things like that. And when I say it's a world, I speak of it in that context.
Oh, yeah.
Because the entire world around you now needs to change. You have to hide your stuff, hide your phone. Earlier, we were talking about gents who would hide it in the spare wheel before they went to the house.
The spare wheel.
Phone.
With the condoms.
Yeah, what a strategy, man.
I'm not saying don't try.
Not giving you ideas, Rick.
No. It's the first time hearing
And
it.
it's like Rick going, hey.
No, Rick is using Debonese. Debonese pizza.
No, you know, the worst one I came across myself, is when most of the time when guys cheat, they don't like to use direct numbers. So if you go to Telkom, you can actually change a number to a landline. And because most people don't suspect landlines using those, and people are in professional cheating now. Cheating is advanced.
It's like CAI cheating.
Olympics.
There we go.
Cheating Olympics.
But Rick, you know, cheating alone can damage one, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes if a woman has been cheated on, whenever they meet a new person, that thing will never, you know, there's always suspecting a guy that is doing what, even if the guy is genuine, they're about her, but like maybe take us through, you know, is there a way where a person, a woman or a guy what can they do?
Originally, genetically talking, from a medical perspective, we were supposed to marry one person, genetically talking.
Correct.
However, because of the circumstances of the way we live, we ended up running into certain problems of life. And that's why they say when you meet a person, you must make sure you are meeting the right person. And so people get into relationships through their feelings, the looking of the body and all those things. And then they determine that not, I can live with this person for the rest of my life. You know, you can meet a person now and they don't develop, they don't grow, they don't become something better and so forth. However, cheating damages a person's ability to trust. And trust, because it's diverse, there is blind trust, institutional trust, there's what we call interpersonal trust, all these types of trusts that are designed out there. When a person cheats, all of them get blown out the window.
But what's the common one though?
The most common one is interpersonal trust, the ability to have reliance on another person as opposed to an institution and all these other things. And trust is more on the stance of belief. Trust is actually belief. It's a belief that that person, I truly and firmly confide in the fact that they are able to do or keep themselves in that particular environment.
I trust them.
I trust them. But when that trust is blown out the water, it's very difficult to restore. And matter of fact, in most instances, men, when they stop trusting, they write off. When women stop trusting, they come to a space where they try to rebuild.
And heal.
And that's where men lose women. Because women think, the man can be able to work out something to retrust again. Never happens. But however, the man will sit down and say, okay, let's move on. She will then find a therapist or a counselor. But a man, when a trust is broken, he struggles to come back to the environment.
It's like what we were sharing earlier around why do men have difficulty forgiving a woman? You know, because of that element of trust with us. And I guess maybe it's associated with possession.
But here's a school of thought. There's a difference between forgiveness and change now. So men don't believe the woman can change. They can forgive and let it go, but changing. Because she skillfully hid it. She skillfully managed, because women can skillfully manage cheating, as opposed to men. You go through his phone, you capture him. You know, men.
It's very lackadaisical.
But you know, there's one lady who once said, you know, most of the women, they will separate you with you while they're still with you.
Of course. They're able to divorce the person from the action only.
It's that mental, you know, giving up prior to the physical leaving. But
now, Rick, if it's a retaliatory, you know, cheating, now what happens in that case? Because now the woman, she cheated on you because you did it. Exactly. You know. So now what happens in that instance? Because some of us feel like it's right. Cheat.
Revenge.
Tit for tat.
But it's deadly, you know. You must remember there is, apart from the social normality of life, there is also a medical side of this thing. There's what we call microchimerism. And microchimerism, yes.
The word will pop up here.
So microchimerism is where a man's cells have the ability to genetically modify certain elements of the woman. That's why you might find, for example, when a couple has been together for a very long time, they say, you guys look alike.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's because of that genetic modification that takes place. That's why, for example, when you look at a black person...
through the sexual process.
Of course. Okay. When you look at a black person has a very strong gene. That's why when a white man, for example, goes into intercourse with a black woman, the child comes out black.
Yes, that child will say, I'm white.
8 out of 10 times.
Yes, 8 out of 10 times the child comes out with the pigmentation of the black woman.
So Rick, what you want to say, I mean, we grew up from the townships, Semaloshin. We usually see maybe this child looks like the next door father. So what are you saying, Joe? What's the next door?
Yeah, so So remember, there's cheating where you sleep with somebody and then you just get impregnated direct straight. Give and take, right, fine. But then there's microchimerism feather study. This is where, for example, when a woman sleeps with multiple men.
The body count.
Yeah, the body count. Her vagina keeps memory of those particular men. So in the microchimerism study, they discovered that if they take the vagina of women, they can actually study and find out how many men she has slept with.
Oh my goodness!
You understand? So
where can I get this test?
Who do you want to test?
Now for future reference.
So in that microchimerism now, study further. They say that when you sleep with a woman, now remember, sex in itself is spiritual exchange energy. And so you are exchanging something. You don't leave without something. You're exchanging something. However, the woman is the one that takes most of the part of the exchange because she's a receiver by creation. However, now, if a woman sleeps with multiple men, she becomes mentally unstable as time proceeds.
Oh, so that's why you get the crazy pulamawini, do all those things. So this thing is more like a bipolar type of situation.
Yeah, similar to that, yeah.
But it's something that has been building over a period of time. From sleeping with different kind of men.
Yes. Jeez. That's why it's very important that if my children want to get married, I would never want them to start on their first marriage, for example, if that happens so that they go to their second, but no parent hopes for that. But I would like them to start on 0-0. I would never want them to start with someone with 1 child, 2 kids, 3 kids, and so forth. Because I want them to start with their own genetic makeup of a child. Because microchimerism study states that if you sleep with this man and you sleep with another man, biologically, the child can carry the fitment of appearance of the first man you're with, but can also carry the behavior of the other man you're with. That's why you find that there are some children, they don't carry the behavior of the father at all, but they carry the look of the father. And you realize that the person has been...
And you're right, there was this other lady who was my friend. So she was with a guy. And then she was pregnant and everything was cool. But when the ex saw the child, the ex was like, abantwana base ndlini laba baso, yeah. And they actually proved. And they actually went and did all the paternities and they found out it's his child. Because can you imagine the guy in her life, how he felt? Because he thought, this is my child. You know what I mean?
And it's deadly, that thing, because microchimerism, the thing is, a lot of us were not informed. So we think we can just go out there and form any relationship as and when we wish. And that's not going to work. Some men, right, are married to women that are mentally unstable. And they don't understand why that is, because they have normalized certain behaviors.
You'll say, Exactly.
Even though there are some men who are also mentally unstable, right, in certain spaces of life. But you need to study the history of a woman just as much as you need to do for the man. But for the woman now, it's in regards to what type of children do you want to have? Do you know some people are fathering children that do not carry the full genetic makeup of that particular man?
Hey, that's sad.
So that's where cheating gets dead.
So are you saying if Kabza's girlfriend sleeps, maybe, God forbid, with a Nigerian guy, the child will carry the behavior of a...
It can happen. It can happen so. Because remember, it's not necessarily saying it happens all the time. The mutation of a body and the growth of a body and how genes work is also dependent on how nature chooses things. But however, it can happen that if, let's say, his girlfriend, as an example, sleeps with a Nigerian and then goes and sleep with him after that, and the next thing, the child has the look of him, but the behavior. Yeah, I mean, the child might love jollof rice.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. The child won't want the milk, wants jollof. It's an early.
You bring testing.
You know what, Rick? I mean, this is groundbreaking stuff.
Oh yeah.
And it talks to a lot of what we don't see. based on the information not being there. And what we assume sometimes, she's just crazy. Yeah. She's just out to kill me. But you don't realize that root cause analysis, the history, is sitting with the answers there.
Yeah. So as a woman, they are like receivers, right? Of course. So is there a way maybe before she comes to X, she can go and cleanse all the men out of her life? That is, I don't know, guys.
According to study, it takes 10 years. 10 years. It takes 10 years to remove those cells out of your system.
So she would need to remain celibate for 10 years.
Well, she can still, be married to you, but the system will be modifying itself, cleaning itself and so forth.
But now Jimmy's not going to marry her. It's gonna wait for the 10-year step.
It doesn't.
Yeah, that warranty.
But you see, that's impossible because she's not gonna stay 10 years without being with someone.
Of course.
That's where it gets tricky.
Let's also look at the side of men cheating. It's very important that we balance the equation. Item.
True.
When men cheat, they also don't understand the amount of pain the woman goes through. And so women want to be appreciated that's why in us when we're counseling and she comes and she says, but the men cheated. The one thing the woman asks herself is, was I not enough?
Yeah.
Did I not look good enough? Did I not talk well? Where did I miss it? Yeah. She starts off by blaming herself. As opposed to actually looking and say, but that fella just went out and did something out of it. Exactly. And women blame themselves to such an extent that it not only creates depression, but it also creates a certain level of clinical depression.
Sure.
Where they feel like, I think I'm not valued in this society. It does.
But understandable. Yeah, and with that said, X, what do you make, Rick, of like elders, whereby their daughter comes and tells them that, my husband cheated, and then the elders will say, so every man cheats, they say, so why do you want to leave?
No, Begezela,
as if it's a norm.
Yes.
They like saying that. Yeah.
Societies grow based on what is fed to them. At some stage of life, this was not the way things were run.
True.
So the society we have now is very immoral in the way it perceives stuff. So when you go to the elders and they tell you those types of words, they're not understanding the full extent of how the woman feels in terms of this particular cheating. Because remember, the woman has given you her whole life. She's given you her body, her womb. She's given you her thought. She's given you everything. 100%. There's nothing more she can actually give. And so when you go out there, it's literally, she's giving you everything. Yeah. But also remember, there are some people which are what we call maritally incompetent. This is a very strong word. Yeah, for like you married somebody that is just purely highly incompetent for the stance of marriage. And so that's when you get people, they say, Mara, when you can't be a husband or a wife.
But now, Rick, is that to that person specifically, or is it in general?
This is a general phenomenon of life today, because when we marry people or when people meet, they don't see the stuff that actually makes marriage work. They see the stuff that actually gets them together, that energy, that kissing, that hugging, that attraction phase, and they deem that's what's a relationship. But there's a much larger area. For example, the woman needs to know her domestic affairs very well. I always tell people, if she's not going to do domestic affairs in the house, at least know them for the sake of directing a maid. At least know them for the sake of directing a cleaner. But you'll realize in the long run, this person can't wash. This person can't cook. This person can't administer kids. This person has no ability to nurture kids at all. And you ask yourself, who groomed this particular person? Same as the man.
That was that guy who was saying, Halle Berry, his husband, who said that the reason why he divorced her is because of what you're saying.
And often when we raise such, we're going to get titles like narcissist, misogynistic. But hey, that's what life is. It's the partnership, and we each have roles. It doesn't mean I want you to be super submissive and be trampled upon. But that role is what I'm looking for in marriage. And you're going to take care of home, and I'll handle my duties like a protective husband, a provider.
So what you're saying, if she cannot cook, is a good enough reason to cheat?
No. You know.
Oh no, I did it.
The best chefs in the world are men.
Yeah.
Best chefs in the world are men.
But now, Rick, how are these? Like as men, I feel like we're always able to detach, right? Mm-hmm. And you detach, and that situation is just that situation. It doesn't mean anything.
Okay, look, I think from the starting point, men and women have different roles and responsibility they play in the confines of marriage. Mm-hmm. However, because of the change of the times, you can discover that you look at the man and you realize that maybe he's a better chef. You look at the woman, maybe she's a more powerful business person. So people are now making up their marriage based on their strengths. Yeah. So certain, norms are changing as time proceeds. However, there are stuff you cannot bypass that is required in order to make the marriage run. True. And for example, the area of making food for your husband. Now, what's going on in the world today is that you get this maid that comes from Lesotho.
Aus Miriam.
Basshayela isitina labo. Basshayela isitina labo.
Factories are core.
They bring the grandmother's the one that comes. Another woman be like, I don't want a young lady. Yeah. They bring the magogo to come. The magogo cleans. The magogo realize that that woman, she can't hold her husband.
She can't.
What she does, she says, hey, I'm going for checkup and whatnot. I'm going to bring someone to come. They bring this 10 out of 10, swine.
Low body count, no cells in her. She's just perfect. She's just a new breed.
And she can cook. She can cook, she can wash, she can iron. Yeah. All she needs is just education. That's all she needs. Because obviously, the place. So when she comes in there, she starts bringing food on a tray. And then when they used to bring, they just throw the plate to you. They say,
they say it's a kishi.
Yeah, that's what they do. But now she brings it on a tray. The tea is brought on a tray. She does everything right. And the guy starts calculating.
There's a comparison happening.
My clothes are so nicely ironed. Everything is stacked there. Yeah. Not like with your food. The clothes are nicely folded there.
I'm telling you. And so what happens that the men sits down and say, but I'd rather live in a small house and have a woman like this than to have what I'm having. True. And so what happens, instead of communicating that information to the wife to say, hey, I'm not happy with 1, 2, 3, 4, he decides to jump out and say, I'm going this particular route. And what that happens creates a world of cheating. True. So cheating is actually when couples struggle to transmit information to each other, that's crucial. They then go out to go and get what they actually could have communicated. However, when the woman does not want to change, because you get that now, that's where you realize that, what.
But tell me, Rick, isn't it maybe when the man communicates, it will be received in a weird way?
Of course.
And where did you see that? All of a sudden,
But also, how do you communicate something to the person, right? Without making it seem like they are lacking in something. Because
there's many ways.
A lot of the time, with the woman, right? Sometimes that's why guys ghost girls, because they know, hey, if I go to this person, they're gonna cry their way out of it. They're gonna, I don't want to say emotionally blackmail you in a sense, but you obviously don't want to hurt this person.
But how is that conversation gonna go, X?
Especially when you know your person, right?
But that's why
I'm gonna say, okay, Yazin, baby, Bing Abba.
No, but that's why I'm asking Rick this question, right? Because there needs to be a way where we can disseminate the information, we can communicate to where it's not personal, but it is in a sense. But it's not I'm saying you lack this. Yeah. I'm saying let's work towards it together.
Akufuneka indoda yomZulu uthi mawakwazi ukuphuma uphele la kwami.
Why must I mince my words?
Yeah.
You know what? I think we need to understand maturity in marriage.
Yeah.
If somebody tells you the truth about something that you need to change and you come back and you reconstruct it as an attack, that speaks to the level of quality of decisions and mindset you have. And by nature, women and accountability is like water and oil.
In one sentence. sentence. You said those in one
Yeah.
sentence.
They're not always on the same page.
Accountability.
It won't work well. Just as much as you do find men that are unaccountable as well. But in reference to what we're talking about, that unaccountability is deadly to them. And that's why in most instances when men come there and they say, I've got a problem with this, they become extremely defensive. Then they'll call you narcissistic. Now that NPD disorder, you cannot diagnose it yourself. You need a psychiatrist.
That's what I keep asking them. Keep asking even on socials, like, guys, when did you suddenly learn this word to give it as a diagnosis to every man?
Yeah, but I think the sign of the times, right? We often don't understand the word. We give it its own new context within the era that we live in, like we mentioned, where, I think with certain traditions, the era and the tradition don't always
mix.
Yeah, they don't marry well. And we also can't find a middle path where we can combine these things to, we're still keeping with the tradition, but within today's context.
If Rick, just a quick one, if you had a father that was cheating, would that be the best person to get advice from?
I think there are two ways to look at advice. Some people are teaching you from their errors and mistakes.
Correct.
Some people are teaching you to say that I've not made this mistake, but I've seen others do it, or I decided to not go this route, but this is how my life turned out. I think we also need to understand that there are some people that are grievously in their own marriages. Like they're being grieved in a high status. And then the person will come and say, I want out. And then you decide to fight and squabble and all those types of things to say, no, you can't leave. And the person says, but I want out. And they end up going out. You can't keep a marriage because of just children. And this is something I need to make people understand. Children are going to reach 21 and leave that marriage. So is that
earlier?
Exactly. They're going to grow up and go out of that marriage. And what's going to be left then?
Who are you together now?
I was laughing at this other couple. They're like, we've been married for 38 years. And I sat there and I'm like, okay, no, that's good. So I started asking them questions and I realized that it's a horrible 38 years. You understand what I'm saying?
You know those TikTok videos where I've been married to my wife for 2 happy years. The wife says no, but it's been 10. Exactly.
Only 2 were happy.
It's the truth. So many people when they come, they say I'm married for 27 years, 28 years, 30 years. But when you start asking, you realize, but it's been a miserable 27 years. There's nothing you can learn from those people.
Those are the ones who are like, it's been a life sentence.
No. You need to look at
certificate.
You need to look at a beautiful, honest, authentic marriage and say, okay, what really got you guys there? And you're like, no, we were honest to each other. We were authentic to each other. When we didn't like something, we shared it. But we never saw it as an attack. We saw it as a state of constructing something good.
There we go.
But most of these whatnot marriages, you go and take the advice. The lady will be like, Mtanami, just fight through it. You understand?
The dogs. I don't flip it and say, oh,
no, that stuff you need to be very wise and sharp about it because we're looking at it's much like going to Coca-Cola or what you call these Glenfiddich, these massive companies, that are out there, of which there are many. And you sit down, you're like, they've been around for 100 years. And you discover that some of them, in their own spectrum are exploiting people. And you're like, how? You understand? You're like, what exactly are you trying to say?
Good years or what?
You understand? We enjoy the big numbers to say they've been around for 100 years. But let's look at what exactly have they changed? What have they transformed?
Good point.
And that's when you look at those marriages that have been around for all those years, you realize that it's big numbers, but and people celebrate them.
Empty calories.
Exactly. But they're like, no, but this stuff is not really what I want.
And cheating would never be a solution.
Of course.
And there's nothing wrong with leaving, basically.
You know what I want to ask, Rick? It's a controversial one. How many go to him for counseling saying they want to be married, they're doing those steps, then they cancel. Then after sitting with him, they say, maybe.
No, I think then his job is done.
Maybe
because you might have saved 2 people from being miserable for the longest time.
There's what I call marrying a setback in life. You're
dating them too.
I'm telling you, you get into a relationship with somebody that sets you back years. And when you go for counseling, you have these counselors that try to keep you together, and you can literally by all means, and they're ripping those people apart because they are not compatible.
Yeah.
They don't see things the same. They just had a couple of good days, and then they decided they want to get married. And you're like, nah.
The infatuation took over.
I'm telling you. So there are couples I have told that you two shouldn't get married.
Nice.
I can see
How
that.
is that received?
It's not received well, but in the long run, they are able to start understanding. Some have come back and say, hey, you know what? You really helped us. And now we actually realize that imagine, for example, I know these guys who are very wealthy and they go and they, get married to an unwealthy woman.
Something we can do well.
Of course. And they realize in the long run, they're like, but this lady has nothing to offer. And vice versa, this guy has nothing to offer. And they realize that they just got married to a body, some flesh, and a happy mind. And that's it. And there's nothing more they can give to you. So there needs to be a certain level of quiet. That's why years back, when queens and kings got married, they would first look at a family that raised the child in a similar stance. Because they knew that the compatibility of thinking is the same. It's much like your husband believes in buying in Mr. Price, but your wife believes in buying at Dolce & Gabbana. And
two different philosophies.
Two classic real housewives of something. They are all divorcees. They are all cheating. They are all miserable in their Gucci bags.
Exactly my point.
And that's we had a recent one. It's surname Williams or something. With one of the Real Housewives of Durban, who just decided, I'm leaving the show. And her exit statement on one of the social was, this show is miserable for me. It's changing principles about me, and it's making me someone I'm not happy watching. I'd rather focus on self and be a great example to my kids.
Because when you look at that, there is no day-to-day life which is like that.
Yes.
Why don't you show us like a everyday woman what they get up to, if you are really a housewife.
That's not always exciting, right?
Media wants to see the drama, the gossip, the fights.
Whoever wants to see someone going to Woolies the same way you go to Woolies and get this. Like, it's not provocative enough, right?
I guess that's what influences certain mindsets in society, because we see that fake life. Like you're saying, no one really lives the way they do. And the assumption is that, when I get married, I'm going to be someone's housewife and live like that.
But
which is
housewives,
fancy.
Do you think housewives cheat the most? Right?
Yeah, they do.
With no fear, it's just like, yes, they do.
Because remember, the schedule of a housewife is very much
it's very short.
She goes and drops the kids at school. She comes back. She prepares for the gym. She gets an instructor.
Yoga.
From there, she does those things.
Bends her.
Exactly. And after
the poor
boy. Most of them. And what I've realized is that most men that marry housewives, in the long run, they get displeased with the housewife.
True.
Because they're meeting women that are productive, excelling,
ambitious.
growing, ambitious. And they start to realize, but at home, I've got a maid. That's what I've got. A glorified one. And then they look at that other and then like, you know what? This lady is so intelligent. She's bright. She can help. She can assist. They grow an attachment for that. And so now that's why it's very important in the era that we're living in. Somebody must be doing something. You cannot just sit and just, wear leggings and so forth and hit the gym, drop the kids, come back, cook a meal.
And expect a monthly allowance.
Exactly. Yeah. So that won't work. And to be honest with you, the era of slave queens is gone.
Yeah.
That era is gone. It has reached its...
Is it really gone, Rick?
It is.
No, that era is gone.
Is it really gone?
I would support him on this.
Because I think when I look at it, right, being a 30-something, it's like...
Being a young man.
I feel it, you know what I mean? I feel like it's even more prevalent than ever, where I'm seeing young kids the younger women not have ambition. Where the ambition is
they expect
to get a rich man.
Yes. That is now your soul.
I think let's qualify what a slave queen is first. I mean, a slave queen, first of all,
you need to do this.
Slave queen has access to funds. That's number one. So if you don't have access to funds, you're not a slay queen.
If you're still asking via WhatsApp,
you're not a slay queen. Number two, you must have the hair and the look to go for it.
There we go.
Not everybody has the hair and the look to go for
that
it.
That installation is not cheap.
Exactly. So you can't be a slay queen. Thirdly, you need to have the attitude that goes with it. If you don't have the attitude, you are not a slay queen. So you need to qualify you first before we just... Because we can see anybody dancing on TikTok and Instagram and DMing everybody.
Shout out.
With the fire emojis.
Yeah. And you got a valid point. And just to close it off on this cheating world issue that we're facing. You know, earlier you said even social media is showing us there's changes happening.
Of course.
And the more these things are getting exposed and the world of cheating is the more, you know, some people are giving up on marriage and some are realizing I've been a victim of something here.
Yes.
Especially the men.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, oh, is this what it's been done to me? Is this how it's being done? When we start reading these stories. So ultimately, when you look at cheating, it ultimately doesn't have good end results.
Yeah, it doesn't.
The cheating world does not have good end results.
The marriages I'm dealing with, a lot of South African men are no longer marrying Mzansi women.
Yes.
Something people are not seeing.
Importing.
What they're doing now is that they're going outside. They're marrying into these obscure countries. These countries that you don't talk much about. Your Switzerlands.
Cape Verde.
Cape Verde, maybe.
Cape Verde. We know why.
I have a couple now in Poland. That's a lady that's marrying a South African male from Poland. You know, so I've come to realize that a lot of South African men are sharpening towards outside, but they're marrying in countries that are not ordinary or spoken that much about. However, our South African women now are marrying into African men. Which is what's happening now. So they would rather go into a Nigerian, they would rather go to a Ghanaian, Cameroonian, and so forth. So the dynamics of relationships are changing in South Africa. And so cheating in and of itself, though it has a damaging effect, the true source of it is that people are actually sitting in displeasure. And they just need to communicate those displeasures. And if they cannot be satisfied, those displeasures, then people must come to a certain of amicable agreement that helps them to get into spaces where now they can flourish in the field that they're in. There's a guy now who's a multimillionaire, but when he was married, he couldn't even make $1 million. He couldn't touch. Every day the WhatsApps he was getting, we need electricity, we need water, we need this, buy this when you come back. You didn't pay for that. You didn't. It was just stress the whole way. But when he got out of the marriage, it didn't even take him a year. Became a multi-millionaire. He was working hard, pushing stuff. You understand what I'm saying? So you sat down and you're like, but then what was the reason for the marriage now? So there are marriages that, you know, when they say when you get married, your life becomes better. But that's not happening to a lot of people.
We know.
So I think what Rick is trying to say out there, marry right.
Exactly.
Guys, it's been a great session yet again. I always love chilling with you guys. You have some ways of just unpacking things in just those creative moments. And Rick, it's been a pleasure to finally have you on one of the roundtables with the gents. And I really hope this is not your only or last. Because clearly you're part of the fam.
Rick is fam. Like, you know what? I think after this episode, I'm going to open my dictionary. Get to understand some of the terms Rick used. But that was very informative, insightful. Be careful of the cells out there. They stay for 10 years. Check out the history.
The body count talks. Guys, it's been a great session with you yet again on Redemption X and the Roundtable. Remember to click that subscribe button as well. Share it with as many people as you can. We love to hear from you and we look forward to sitting with you again. Have a great one.
Ciao.